When I played games around the 5th and 6th console generation, I remember playing whatever games I was given as gifts the few times I did. Due to the perceived rarity games had in my eyes, since I never did buy them myself, I fell into playing what I had way longer than I otherwise would. It led me to love, and I do mean love, 100%ing every single game. More specifically, achievement hunting.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Whoa! Yes!
What did we blow up That's it? Seriously? All that work and all we did was blow up the Earth?
Lego Star Wars, Mario Galaxy, Pokemon Platinum, all games I combed left, right, and center until I did everything I could have back when I was younger. I spent every hour on the hour completing these games if I wasn't bogged down by school or chores. Even so, completing these games was enough to satisfy my little brain, and I was excited to see every single corner. But around 2011, I got my Xbox 360 Slim, and it was all I wanted, given kids in my class all gassed this console up like it was the best thing in the world. It was, and it still is. I was caught up playing the demo for Call of Duty World at War on my family's PS3, and would you believe it, the first two games I got on my shiny new Xbox were Call of Duty World at War and Halo 3. I mostly played RPGs, really bad movie tie-in games, and whatever my parents thought was interesting on the shelf, but playing games on the Xbox, I immediately noticed something. Achievements. These little pop-ups show up when you complete a challenge the developers laid out, whether it's tied to normal game progression, a real challenge, or something extremely silly. Each achievement had a rarity attached to it shown by the amount of gamer score you would get. Some achievements were 10 gamer score, and others were 100 gamer score. All of these achievements, while simple, allowed me to have a sort of tangible way to see my progress across all the games I played on my profile. And with the advent of online gaming during this generation, it was even a great way to show off to your friends online. That is, assuming they cared, because not everyone seemed to really care about achievements. But let me tell ya, I sure as hell did. I started replaying games I already loved just to see that gamer score number climb higher. What began as a neat little feature became the way I played games mostly. Halo 3 wasn't just about finishing the campaign anymore, it was about beating it on Legendary with all skulls. Call of Duty Zombies wasn't just about surviving rounds, it was about hunting down every Easter egg with friends alongside the excessive high round grind. Guitar Hero, well, I was already pretty good at that, so the achievements, they were just a bonus. These gave me goals I would have never created for myself, and as a kid, I was already squeezing everything I could out of a game. I'd collect every star in Mario Galaxy, hunt down every mini-kit in LEGO Star Wars, and spend countless hours in Pokemon Platinum long after most people would have moved on, completing the Pokédex. But achievements took that mindset and cranked it up to 11. When a game had multiple endings, I would in most cases not count that towards my version of 100%ing a game. I would instead leave that for a second or third playthrough later down the line. Though with a little game I should have not been playing at age 13, being Catherine, made me break that entire rule I had in my head as a child. I remember obsessing over the demo of this game, playing the first stages over and over until I got the game on a spur-of-the-moment trip to GameStop. And once I had it, I made it my goal to 100% the game and everything it had, which if you knew anything about Catherine, there are multiple endings: neutral, chaos, and good, or any variation of those three. You'd get a total of 9 endings, which means 9 playthroughs for each one, potentially if you don't save scum. I was already head over heels with the story and gameplay, but this only made me fall deeper in love with the game that is in my top 10. All thanks to chasing that coveted 1000G, which I did twice, mind you, both on the Xbox 360 and on its subsequent PC re-release called Catherine Classic on Steam. It doesn't mean that all the games had great achievements though. Some were not thought of well at all, like Avatar: The Burning Earth, and others had some very silly ones, like the Simpsons game, where you get one for starting the game up. I wish I was joking. Or others like Lollipop Chainsaw, where you, did things. Life imitates art, I guess. Some achievements were downright evil if you didn't like numbers that didn't end in 5 or 0 too, which only mildly irked me. All was going well though. I had a reason to play my games even more. Everything was good. Everything was... So, if achievement hunting was my favorite way to play games, why did I stop? The truth is, I never consciously decided to stop. It just happened. Around this time, I was painfully addicted to League of Legends. I spent years trying to get better, learning the mechanics, grinding ranked, and buying way too many skins I absolutely did not need. Unlike the games I grew up with, there was no finish line, no credits. This was the first proper multiplayer game that I didn't just play for fun. I wanted to actually get extremely good at it. And I queued up for match after match, and that was fun for me back then. Things don't really change though. I was also spending time in games like Team Fortress 2 and finding my way back to Nintendo games on my 3DS and Wii U. Games were still a huge part of my life, but the way I interacted with them was changing. I didn't stop loving them, I stopped caring about 100%ing them. Without realizing it, I started treating single-player games differently too. I'd roll credits and move on. It didn't help that a lot of games I liked were starting to add online achievements too, which made going for a true 100% meant I had to actually play whatever online mode that the game had tacked on. BioShock 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood are the first to come to mind when I think of any of these. Sometimes I was okay with online achievements, but for the most part, no. I didn't like them at all. Forza Horizon 4, which is one of my favorite games in the series, got delisted, so any achievements with the limited festival playlists are essentially a no-go now. Many others will also not be available either in due time, like the BR mode called the Eliminator, due to lower player counts in the future. So not only are they a dumb addition, a lot of them are unobtainable due to servers going down or delistings. On top of all this, there are DLC achievements. On PlayStation, it at least will show you that you platinumed the base game, but the percentage won't be 100, which is mildly annoying. But on Xbox, well, yeah, you might have 1,000, but you don't have 1,375 like over here because you didn't buy the DLC. Eventually, I did pick up a PS4. Trophies were technically the same thing as achievements, but they never quite hit the same for me. Maybe it was the lack of gamer score. Maybe it was the nostalgia. Maybe it was because achievement hunting was getting stale. Even Steam achievements didn't work when I got into PC gaming. But in hindsight, I think it was the concept of starting over from zero when my old account was full of history, full of memories. My interests were changing too. I was making music, figuring out who I wanted to be as a person, discovering new hobbies outside of video games. And when I did sit down to play something, I wasn't thinking about seeing every corner anymore, not just because I stopped loving games, but because somewhere along the way, I stopped looking for reasons to stay with them once the credits rolled.
Let's get back to it.
Yeah. Persona 5 might just be one of the most influential games in my entire life. I remember playing it right before I graduated high school. I skipped classes just to spend more time on this ridiculously long RPG that takes place in school. But over time, I did beat the game, and when the credits finally rolled, I felt sad, genuinely distraught. Not because of the ending itself, but for me, it was because I had to say goodbye. Over the course of 100 plus hours, I'd grown attached to all of these characters. They felt like friends I could have met in real life. I'd played other Persona games before, such as Persona 3 and 4, and even some of the spin-offs, but Persona 5 was the first one I ever committed to finishing, and it spiraled into me being deeply passionate about this series. So what does any of this have to do with achievement hunting? Well, after beating the game, I wasn't ready to leave. I ended up earning the Platinum Trophy for the original Persona 5, not Royal, and it asks a lot more of the player. It's not especially difficult to platinum this game outside of the massive time commitment, but it really didn't matter to me. Because for the first time in years, I willingly spent over 3 full playthroughs chasing every single trophy. Not because I cared about the platinum itself, I did it because I loved this game so much, and I did not want to say goodbye. I think what I ended up realizing is each game I casually rolled credits on had much more to it that I was clearly missing out on. Games like Kingdom Hearts, I beat the game, rolled credits, and enjoyed the game for what it was. But on my long marathon before KH3 arrived, I sought after the coveted Platinum Trophy, which I still haven't gotten, but in the process, I never realized that there were so many cool bosses just sitting around here in this version that I never knew about. I mean this with 100% honesty, I didn't even know Unknown was a super boss in this game until very recently. So, yeah. Plus, Kingdom Hearts 2 had the data org and him. Of course, not every game needs achievements for me to feel this way. Some of my favorite completion experiences have come from Nintendo games that don't really reward you with anything other than the satisfaction of doing it. Collecting every Power Moon in Mario Odyssey, hunting down the shrines in Breath of the Wild, or filling out a Pokédex all scratch that same itch. There's something about Nintendo's design philosophy that makes exploration and completion feel rewarding on its own. With no trophy pop-up, no gamer score, just feeling that you've truly seen everything a world has to offer. Even a game like Xenoblade, where yes, there are in-game achievements, still feels extremely gratifying to check off all the side quests and all the side content that the game has to offer. Hollow Knight, Bloodborne are both games that I adore tremendously. Both have been a part of me forever, and going for 100% completion on both led me to not only get good, but also appreciate just how much care was put into these games. Without achievements, I would have probably beaten both, called them masterpieces, and moved on. But instead, I fought the optional bosses. I experimented with different builds. I challenged myself to overcome encounters that felt impossible the first time. I mean, look no further than in Hollow Knight's Pantheon 5, which requires you to beat 42 bosses in a row without dying. And Bloodborne, which... it's Bloodborne. Achievement hunting didn't just make me spend more time with these games, it made me appreciate them more. It pushed me to see content I would have skipped, tackle challenges I never would have attempted, and revisit worlds that I wasn't ready to leave. And honestly, I think that's why I fell back in love with it. It's about getting the most out of the games I already love, and I think that justifies my egregious hours in some games. Only a little. But come on, Nintendo. Please add achievements.